There are times that church people can hurt people, even people within the church. Over the years, I have seen quite a lot that even pastors can undermine and hurt other pastors. I have seen pastors show favoritism to one church member and not the other. And I've seen people outside of church treat people differently. But the focus today is not the people on the outside who might have things to say about the church, but it's actually the people within the church who don't treat people as they should be treated. There are some churches, if you go there, you're not dressed well, they won't even give you a decent seat to sit down. The ushers will automatically prefer putting you all the way in the back, though there might be spaces at the front. For whatever reason, they keep the special seats for those who are well dressed. Without understanding a person's dress code, though everybody should be dressed in a considerable manner, does not necessarily dictate how they will worship God and how God will respond to them. And even if they give in the church the amount of offerings they give, somehow people that judge many times by the ushers in the church and the greeters because of the appearance, they decide whether to give them a floral seat at the front or put them in the back or somewhere in the corner. Now this is not good, and many times this can hurt people. There are times the ushers will greet this person and not greet the other person, making that other person that came to worship feel bad. There are times the people in the church, from one department to the other, they don't work with people equally, and that can make people to feel bad as well. There are times people who stay long in the church, who are capable to do certain things, the pastors or the leaders will not pick them to do it, but rather pick the newcomers to do the stuff because they favor them. Over the years, I have seen favoritism throughout the church. I have seen people taking side, even when they go judge cases, favoring this person over the other one. But I've also seen people undermine each other right in the church. And I've seen pastors support breakaway churches of their friends because they want to have new spiritual sons and daughters. There are hurt that happens within the church every time. And this is not a good thing for all of us. We as believers are supposed to carry the love of Jesus Christ in us. We should love our brothers and sisters. We should understand the church is not a perfect place, but like a hospital where people come for treatment for different issues. And we should have the heart to bear with each other as we preach the love of Christ to touch each person, changing them from the inside, making them a better person, to worship God, to be a unique member of the church, to be a good member of their own family, to be a good member of society. The love of God from within us should be radiant, touching everybody, changing their gloomy day to a bright day, changing the sadness of their heart to be filled with joy and happiness and hope. But sometimes some people come to church with their issues that we as the people of God need to direct them to God. We help them, make them feel bad. And many times people have left church, not because God is not good, but because the people in the church didn't treat them so well. Sometimes the guests are treated as second-class citizens. And I've seen this even in my position as being a pastor. There come times over the years, I got church members who could set up on me at any time to see me. But they won't do it. Sunday when we have guests in the church, for the most part, when many guests come to the church, when after church we are supposed to greet the guests and sit down and talk with them and get the information, the current member of the church will rather want to just show up at the office instead of setting an appointment and giving a time to the guests so that we speak to them to get to know them, whether to possibly invite them to church or to see whether they have any issue the church could engage and help them. But the current church members want to just go see the pastor, taking time away from the new church members or the visitors that came to the church. And when that happens, the people quietly leave the church, and what they do, many times they don't come back. And there are times people visit the church and there is no follow-up to show that we appreciated the visit and we actually have care for them and want to come back, or at least to go send a team to go visit with them. When the love of Christ is not shown through us to the people who come to the church, when the love of Christ is not shown from us to our brothers and sisters who worship with us in the church, somehow it makes our Christianity to look fake. We can preach and jump up and down. We can pray and speak in tongues. We can sing, we can dance. But after all that, how do we exemplify the love of God to the brothers and sisters within the church? How do we show this to the people who come to visit the church? How do we carry that love to our families, to our friends, to our work, to our communities outside of church? If we don't do this and feel that we are holier than thou, that we are the only person sins God can forgive, we are the only person's prayers God can hear, and the rest of the people, if they don't change and become holy and righteous as we understand, then God will condemn them to hell. And so such mind, somehow, we make ourselves feel better than other people when we are not. What we forget to know many times is God can receive anybody at any time. His word says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. It does not require my input or your input or the input of any pastor for God to save anybody. God can save anybody he wants on his own at any time. So we need to humble ourselves as we have received the grace of God and pass this grace on to other people. But many times, a lot of people leave church because somebody hurt them, the ushers, or somebody in the children's church, or somebody in the very particular department they are part of, and because of that hurt, they leave the church. And sometimes people leave the church because even the pastor himself or herself could hurt the pastor, wife or husband, or the pastor's case. Somebody can do something to make you feel bad, and when that issue does not settle, they end up leaving the church. I want us to check ourselves today as we go to church, that God, I don't want to be a problem to another person to stop them from worshiping you. I don't want to be the reason why somebody else leave this church and go out there trying to find another church. I don't want to be the reason why somebody stop coming to church and backslide from the church and from you because of my attitude. So I want to admonish all of us. Let us check our attitudes as we go to church. That our problems, whatever issue we may have, we don't project that to other people who too have their own issues and come seek the face of God. Let us not do that. Many people have left church and have left God because of you and I, and that is not good.